Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of your favorite English bulletin, The News. We're broadcasting live from TVT studios here in Lomé. Here are the headlines. Togo is seeking to accelerate its digital transformation by ensuring overall surveillance through drone technology. The initiative, driven by the President of the Council for Esozunanya was at the heart of discussions with Polish delegation that identified as a strategic partner in this technological modernization drive. Talking drums, songs, dances, and traditional rites marked the 25th edition of the Dukokbe Dazan Festival as the Kovie community gathered to celebrate its cultural heritage and strengthen social cohesion around their ancestral values. The Jubilee celebration also brought together local authorities, traditional leaders, and sons and daughters of the community in a spirit of unity and identity preservation. Stay with us, details coming up shortly. And yes, it is always a pleasure to have you join us. Togo aims to strengthen the monitoring of its borders, secure its territory and infrastructure, and improve the surveillance of its forest and industrial environments through new technologies, particularly drones. This reflects the digital transformation of public services initiated several years ago by the President of the Council for Esozunanya in line with digital demands of the 21st century. The issue was at the center of discussions between the President of the Council and Polish delegation selected as a key partner to support this major technological drive in Togo. Kwesi Glay tells us more in the following report.
At the Palais de la Marina, the Polish delegation discussed one of the most crucial challenges of the 21st century with the President of the Council for Esozunanya, technological advancement, and the need to adapt to rapidly evolving global realities. Discussions focused on strengthening bilateral cooperation, particularly in the areas of digital technology and digital transformation. At the heart of the talks was the planned establishment of a made-in-Togo drone production and design center. This cooperation builds on several years of partnership between Togo and Poland, notably through CDA and the Cyber Africa Fund, both actively involved in the country's digitalization efforts and the development of innovative job creation projects. The initiative reflects the outcome of 6 years of collaboration and a shared vision between Poland and Togo. Through this partnership, Togo aims to accelerate its digital transformation in response to the rapid global rise of artificial intelligence and position Lomé as a leading technology hub in Africa.
The African Continental Free Trade Area AFCFTA investment opportunities in Togo, industrial and commercial cooperation, and the third edition of the Biashara Africa Forum hosted by Togo for 3 days were among the key topics discussed by the President of the Council for Esozunanya and several African personalities from Rwanda, Nigeria, and the Afrexim Bank. The meeting took place during official audiences held this Monday at the Palais de la Marina. Ahefan Chugan reports.
Biashara Africa 2026 concluded after 3 days of discussions, high-level panels, and commitments aimed at advancing Africa's economic transformation. Once again, Lomé demonstrated its ability to host a successful continental event. The Rwanda Minister of Trade and Industry conveyed this recognition to the President of the Council for Esozunanya while also exploring new avenues of cooperation between Rwanda and Togo. For its part, the Nigerian delegation focused on strengthening economic and trade partnerships among African countries, particularly between Togo and Nigeria, within the framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area AFCFTA. The objective is to transform African economies by promoting smoother intra-African trade.
We had a very solid and productive opening ceremony with key discussions on trade facilitation, access of goods, access of people. Mr. President really demonstrated a lot of leadership, staying all through, listening to everything, and then giving solid comments, including giving a directive to look into entry of persons into the Republic of Togo. African leaders have demonstrated that they believe in the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement as the hope for Africa. As we deepen implementation of the agreement, is going to bring more prosperity for our people.
Investment opportunities in Togo, financing for strategic projects, and industrial development were also highlighted during discussions with Afrexim Bank representatives. The bank reaffirmed its interest in supporting Togo, describing the country as a business-friendly destination with a favorable investment climate. These exchanges took place on the sidelines of the third edition of the Biashara Africa Business Forum 2026. They further illustrate Togo's growing attractiveness and open new multilateral prospects for cooperation and development.
Researchers from the universities of Togo and Benin are examining the major challenges currently facing Africa's agricultural sector. Their objective is to propose practical solutions to the relevant authorities in order to help develop effective policies that will promote food sovereignty across Africa. Casey Glay tells us more.
Official statistics show that when employment and underemployment are combined, the rate stands between 20 and 25%. Yet paradoxically, the agricultural sector continues to face a severe shortage of labor. This contradiction is one of the major challenges confronting rural communities in Togo and across Africa today. The lack of agricultural workers has resulted in fewer laborers available for farming activities. While livestock monitoring has become increasingly difficult, the phenomenon threatens food security and sustainable development with causes rooted in multiple factors. Rural areas remain under-equipped and lack access to modern infrastructures and opportunities. As a result, many young people are unwilling to stay in rural communities. Their departure weakens the agricultural workforce and limits the development potential of rural economies. As a key driver of economic growth, Africa's agricultural sector requires concrete actions to increase productivity. Many young people still perceive agricultural work as a sign of failure, a mindset that experts say must be challenged to encourage youth participation. This raises the broader issue of promoting and valuing agricultural professions. Governments therefore have a crucial role to play in designing effective agricultural policies. Through this initiative, African researchers are joining forces to promote and secure food sovereignty across the continent.
From May 19 to 23, 2026, populations in the prefectures of Senkansé and Thon in the Savannah region benefited from free medical outreach campaigns organized by the Togolese Armed Forces as part of its civil military actions. The initiative brought healthcare services closer to local communities, offering consultations, treatments for various illnesses, and several successful surgical operators. Awifan Shugan has more details in this report.
Strengthening trust between civilian populations and defense and security forces is also achieved through humanitarian action. Free medical services organized by the health units of the Togolese Armed Forces with support from the UNDP included consultations, surgical operations at the Dapaon Regional Hospital, and the distribution of medicines. Local populations described the initiative as highly successful. The program also aims to foster stronger civil-military dialogue and contribute to the prevention of violent extremism. These operations provide concrete response to the needs of vulnerable populations while reinforcing social cohesion and peaceful coexistence. The health services of the Togolese Armed Forces are also ensuring patient follow-up after treatment. These actions reflect a modern vision of security, one built with communities, not only for them. By combining healthcare assistance with community engagement, the initiative contributes to creating a more stable, united, and resilient environment. Where dialogue exists and essential needs are addressed, social cohesion is sustained.
Still on advancements in our health sector, the populations of Kazabua and surrounding areas in the Sotobua 3 municipality now benefit from a modern healthcare infrastructure. The newly constructed and fully equipped peripheral healthcare unit USP, funded by the Togolese government for the benefit of local communities, has officially been handed over to the population over the weekend. Chrissy Glay reports.
In Kazabua, hope for better healthcare access is becoming a reality. Located in service, this modern infrastructure provides a spacious, functional environment better suited to the need of patients and healthcare personnel. Consultation rooms, maternity wards, laboratories, and other services have been modernized and equipped with appropriate facilities. This upgraded technical platform aims to improve patient care conditions and ensure better quality healthcare services for local municipalities. Built under the Universal Access to Sexual and Reproductive Health Services project in Togo, the facility reflects the commitment of the country's highest authorities to bringing quality healthcare closer to communities, particularly in rural areas. This public interest initiative to strengthen local healthcare services aligns fully with the Togolese government's strategic vision, which places improving the healthcare system at the center of national priorities. It also demonstrates a strong commitment to local development and the well-being of the population.
Will fuel prices increase in Togo? Well, the question has fueled public debate in recent days as global oil prices continue to rise due to tensions in the Middle East. In Togo, where fuel prices have remained unchanged for several months, the possibility of a price increase in the coming days or weeks is generating growing concern. Let's explore more of the dynamics with Ahifaruchka.
Since the end of February, global oil prices have experienced sharp fluctuations due to the tensions linked to the conflict involving Iran and disruptions affecting key global oil trade routes. This situation has caused a significant increase in crude oil prices, which have regularly exceeded $100 per barrel. The rise is having direct consequences for African countries heavily dependent on fuel imports. Within the WAEMU region, several countries have already increased fuel prices at the pump. In Côte d'Ivoire, petrol now costs 855 CFA francs per litre. In Benin, gasoline is sold at 725 CFA francs, diesel at 750 CFA francs, and kerosene at 1,040 CFA francs. In Mali, gasoline costs 875 CFA francs and diesel 940 CFA francs. In Guinea-Bissau, gasoline is priced at 899 CFA francs and diesel at 848 CFA francs. However, Other countries, including Niger, Burkina Faso, and Togo, have chosen to maintain stable fuel prices. This decision places additional pressure on government budgets. In Togo, for instance, the price of premium gasoline has remained unchanged since 2024, but maintaining this stability comes at a cost. Given the international context, a price adjustment remains possible. According to some economic forecasts, the current situation could further increase inflation across several countries in the sub-region and beyond.
A deeply spiritual and emotional stay continues for Togolese pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. In Medina, they visited several symbolic sites linked to the history of Islam, sacred places rich in spirituality and closely connected to the life of Prophet Muhammad. Kusigla tells us more.
A total of 2,422 Togolese pilgrims have arrived in Saudi Arabia, where they visited several important Islamic sanctuaries and historical sites in Medina. These sacred places bear witness to the origin of Islam, the era of prophecy, and the site of divine revelation closely linked to the life of Prophet Muhammad. The pilgrims also had the honor of praying at the Prophet's Mosque and at the historic Kaaba Mosque, recognized as the first mosque in Islam. Mount Uhud, one of the most important Islamic historical landmarks, symbolizes steadfastness, sacrifice, and devotion. With deep satisfaction, the pilgrim discovered several significant religious and historical sites that hold a special place in the spiritual life of Muslims around the world.
And as is done on every Pentecost Monday, the sons and daughters of the canton of Kovie gathered once again to celebrate the grand finale of their traditional festival, Kovie du Kokbe Dazan, also known as Thanksgiving. The celebration took place in an atmosphere of joy, unity, and cultural pride. Ahifanuchuga reports.
The sound of the talking drum set the tone for the grand finale of the 25th edition of Kovie du Kokbe Dazan. The celebration served as a moment of gratitude and thanksgiving to God through prayers led by priests and pastors native residing in Kovie. United in one voice, participants prayed for peace, unity, and harmony in everyday life. This 25th edition once again called on the sons and daughters of the community to commit themselves collectively to the harmonious and sustainable development of Kovie and its surrounding cantons. The event also showcased an important aspect of the community's cultural identity through traditional dance performances accompanied by the talking drum. More than just a Thanksgiving celebration, the festival has become a platform for transmitting cultural values, strengthening social bonds, and promoting local expertise and craftsmanship.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition. Thanks to my wonderful team and to you, cherished viewers, for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates, and remember to uphold the values of solidarity and peace, because together we can go much further. Have a wonderful evening. See you next time. Goodbye.